Hey, what's up, everybody? It's B Dollar again, and we are back here today. I know I'm a little bit late for this, but I know I got to talk about this show, and that is Wrestlepalooza, this out of the blue, nowhere show that's making its big debut for WWE on ESPN. And what can I really say about this entire show, huh? Because there's going to be a lot to say about this, the good, the bad, the ugly. And honestly, I don't even think this show is really good. It's given for multiple reasons, especially with WWE right now when it comes to all these crazy deals and sales and Saudi Arabia and this ESPN. It's one thing I could really say about this show, and you know what it reminded me of? It felt like a giant infomercial, just like back in January when Raw went to Netflix and how they kept talking about Netflix a majority of the show and just trying to sell it off and actually being a great show. That's what I felt the same way when it comes to WrestlePalooza because one, yes, we already know WWE has their ESPN deal, but that wasn't really supposed to happen until next year when they were going to be on ESPN. But for some reason, they decided to make it earlier than possible. And how did they do that? They obviously made a show that was a former ECW pay per view and put it on the same day as AEW. And yeah, I did speak a little about that in my AEW All Out review. Go check that out online right now. Because listen, when this show came on, I did watch it when it started off. I missed a few things at the beginning, but when WrestlePalooza started, the AEW World Title match was about to start as this show started too for the pay per view. And yeah, let's get right into it because at the beginning, I saw it. I know they had Triple H out there doing some type of promo talking about the final form of I think what sports entertainment and stuff. And listen, I kind of skipped all of Triple H's whatever his little monologue to put himself over and everything. So I just know he probably said something about welcome to the era, the ESPN era, just like he said back at Raw in January, welcome to the Netflix era. So he did that whole thing. And then he even brought back Pat McAfee, who got out of a car with Tyrese Halliburton. And basically, he was back on commentary for tonight. So, like I said, I missed a lot of the beginning, which honestly, the entrances was longer than this match we're about to get to because next thing you know, it was going to be John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. This feud has made 0 sense, and it's just happening just because. It has been, honestly, a waste of time. And honestly, when I'm about to talk about this match, I am not surprised at anything that just happened here. Because, number one, out of everything to get to this match, it was almost like 20 minutes worth of either talking or entrances. Because John Cena came out and had a whole bunch of kids with him to make his entrance. And Brock Lesnar made his entrance as usual. But for some reason, Paul Heyman is now back with Brock Lesnar and calling him the last real ass kisser and, doing his whole shtick, the reigning, defending champion or whatever and stuff. But like I said, this feud has never made sense, okay? And it's just almost like Brock attacked John Cena, and we never even know why he attacked John Cena. And it's not nothing really happened. It's like, yes, the match was going to happen, but the build to this, nothing really happened. You had Brock come out on SmackDown like a week ago with Truth doing comedy segment, which was a waste of time. Cena just goes a promo and says, like, I'm going to bring the fight to Brock Lesnar. And then Friday just had Brock kill like Corey Graves and a couple referees here and there, with still literally no explanation to why this match was happening. It's just happening, folks. And this is everything I imagined it was going to be because I've seen it before. Was just German suplexes multiple times. John Cena got at least like 3 FUs on him. And then Brock literally came back and just either suplexed him or hit like 5 to 6 F5s and just kept hitting him in the midsection. Yeah, he hit like 5 F5s right after and won. And I know they kept trying to show some kids crying in the crowd, which is kind of funny, John Cena. Let me get this straight. So John Cena came out with a bunch of kids. It's almost like, hey, kids, you guys get to be part of my entrance, but now you're going to watch me get my ass kicked all over the place. It's like, what did this really further? Does this even really continue? Some are saying, like, well, John Cena's got to get his rematch at what Crown Jewel. Does anybody really want to see this match again? And then right after Brock just end up F5ing him again, and then he F5 the referee, and then he tried to show more kids crying, and Brock just heads to the back. Cena rolls out of the ring and just leaves. That's kind of it. And the referee is dead on the ground. This was a waste of time. And I'm gonna say this, which I said back in the SummerSlam review, and I probably said this in a few other videos too. I think it would have been more interesting if it was a heel John Cena versus a face Brock Lesnar. And listen, there's gonna be a lot to say when we get towards the end of this quote unquote, retirement run and all this, because this shit has been really up down to just downright bad. And I'm not going to talk a lot about it right now. When we get to it, we will. Because how many days does John Cena have left now? What, 5, I believe, at this point? So I don't know who his next opponent is going to be. I don't even know if I honestly, I'm kind of checked out of this thing. I'm to the point where it's like, okay, man, how much of this left again? Because it's like, where is this even going anymore? In Brock's case, it looked like Brock, after kicking the shit out of John Cena, you might as well have him go after the WWE title then. You made him look super strong. He basically straight up murked John Cena in like what, under 10 minutes? I know some say, oh, why wasn't the main event? Listen, man, my friend Shaggy said this best. When it comes to Brock Lesnar matches, it's either going to open up the show or it's going to be the main event. And this was the opening of the show. So it's not like nothing special happened here. It was basically another repeat of SummerSlam 2014 with Brock just murdering Cena, and that was it here. So it's not like anything happened. This whole thing, I feel like it felt like it's been a waste of time. And maybe this was just a piece to Netflix, like, hey, we got Brock Lesnar versus John Cena on the debut of Netflix. This will get people watching. This will get people watching all the time, which I'm sure they feel. And given just with all the stuff with WWE and how much a lot of this costs, I really wonder how many people really did end up paying for this Wrestlepalooza show. And honestly, I don't know where some people even thought this was supposed to be bigger than WrestleMania or however WWE was talking about it. This looked like Backlash out here. This whole show was like Backlash or even Bad Blood. This was not even close to WrestleMania. I never even had that in my feeling that I was even going to be even relatively close to WrestleMania or try to be like WrestleMania. Like what, they were in Indianapolis? It's not like they had some special ass entranceway or building. And I don't know if the crowd was even sold out or not. It was a big crowd, but was it sold out? I don't know. But I'm going to be honest, like this whole thing was just business as usual. Business as usual. Brock kills Cena. What did they say? Cena has like one win over Brock, I believe. Just one out of their whole feud and rivalry. Like they got one. And Brock just won again. So I already know I wasn't gonna dig going into this, and I literally just started laughing because I was like, business as usual. So it's like, what was the point of this? I still think it was a very missed opportunity to do a but a heel Cena versus a face Brock for the WWE title when Cena was still the champion. That at least would got some interest and make things interesting. This was same old, same old. So yeah, not really enough to talk about here. It's really not much to talk about here, so it's whatever. And even with Heyman, I'll say this too. It's kind of weird seeing Heyman just randomly back with Brock Lesnar because given everything with the whole bloodline stuff and Heyman turning on Brock, it's like, oh, we're all cool. I'm in another group and everything. But hey, I'll do your entrance one more time just because. So I don't know where any of this is going to lead to. If this leads to anything at all, I don't know. After what I saw, I would think Brock would be going after the WWE title next. And like, honestly, I would after what I just saw here. Cena, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. That's all I can say. But moving on from this glorified squash match, we didn't get the Usos, which, yeeted up. That took up a lot of time in the entrance also. Versus B&B Security, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. LA Knight was a special guest referee. Honestly, it started turning into like a no DQ match after a while, but I'm going to be honest, like, the match was fine. It was what it was. It wasn't bad or anything. I think the finish was a little bit weird going into, but, because, like, I know there was, like, tables and stuff involved and a lot of diving outside the ring. At one point, Heyman threw a chair in the ring, and Jay was about to almost hit LA Knight with it, but he stopped himself. And then Breaker got a spear on Jay, but then, no, he did get a spear on Jay, but, like, Jay hit a chair over Braun Breaker, and you could see the chair bounce back into Jey Uso, making himself bleed. So the chair hit him in the head, and he looked kind of discombobulated, where you could clearly see LA Knight called a spot here and almost to end the match, like telling Brian, like he's like spear, spear, like you can loudly hear him say that, and the match was over. And then it was like, I think it was a tsunami after that. I'm actually more surprised Jey Uso even took the pinfall here in a way, because I think yeah, like because I know they got both speared through like a table in right after the Usos, and then Reed ended up hitting the like I say, hit the tsunami and won the match. But like that ending was just kind of getting a little bit odd after that. Like I said, the match itself, it kind of was what it was. So it had a few good stuff out there, but it's not much I could say about it. Next, I would kind of somewhat think this may have been the best match of the night. What do you think of that so far at first? Even though there was no build to this, but it was Stephanie Vicaire versus Io Sky versus for the women's title. I will say this. I feel like the crowd was kind of quiet through the first half of this, but once they kind of put it in the second gear, the crowd was started like really give a fuck then. Listen, I expected this to be a great match. I'm not surprised by this at all. I like going into it, I know it was gonna be great. I know it was barely any build going into this, but I know this was gonna be good. Like it's like you already know it's gonna be. And I knew EO wasn't gonna win the title. Like they did not need to put the belt back on EO again. After the last two title reigns, why would you trust this with another? Like this is already it's already been badly booked for her as champion. We don't need to see it again. So Stephanie win the title. I'm cool with it. She did like a big spiral tap to get the win like what AJ Styles used to do at one point. So it was a cool finish. I'll definitely say that. So the crowd got into it later on and ended up being a great match. So, like I said, the first half I don't think nobody cared about, but the second half, it looked like everybody started to kick in. But I think everybody kind of knew Stephanie was going to win. I never believed EO was going to win anyways. It's like, I just couldn't see her being the champion again. But Stephanie, good for her. Now, some would think this was the best match of the night right after the one-on-one match. Because at first I thought the title match was probably one of the best things of the night. But then we actually got to the tag match of CM Punk and AJ Lee making her in-ring return versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I gotta say, this is a hell of a match. If you want to know about story and psychology, this is the match to watch. Obviously, they're gonna milk AJ getting into the ring several times. It was a lot of like really. I'm not gonna name every spot out here, but just from like ring psychology and just telling a story out there, that's definitely what they did. My only gripe with the match is that I don't think it needed to be 30 minutes. It did start to kind of drag towards the end. Because, yeah, AJ got involved and, she even tried to do her Black Widow several times onto Becky. I did like when, Becky and Seth, like, they got to be obnoxious out there. Like, they even got to make out to get the crowd to boo. And there was, like, one point where Seth picked up Becky and, like, lifted her in the air, was going to use it as a weapon. But when he dropped her, she just ended up hitting the floor. He just like, oh, my God, I basically beat up my wife and everything. And, throughout several times, Punk and AJ even doing, like, double submissions, like the Sharpshooter and Black Widow. Punk, I'm trying to remember what else, because like they had AJ just laughing hysterically, even tried to attack Rollins. I know Becky ended up throwing her off of her. I know Rollins ended up mocking AJ to the ground, even doing the whole skipping thing and stuff. Punk ended up in like a GTS, I think, onto Rollins. It was a kick out. Because like Becky started to worry and said like wake up, you gotta wake up, get up and stuff. And she tried to stop Punk from like doing another like tag or something, but then AJ ended up getting in the ring. Becky froze for a second. AJ went after her, just started beating her up and stomping on her several times. I think Becky tried to like do some powerbomb on her, but ended up going to another Black Widow. Fans chanting, "You still got it, AJ." I know it's like a lot of double team moves because AJ had used Punk almost like for a sliced bread, which was kind of crazy as a double team move. I know it's like several. I don't know. It's like a bunch of reversals. Like I said, it's going back into the the Black Widow and the Sharpshooter. Even Becky almost tried to do like a Sharpshooter on Punk, but Punk got out of it. Becky and Rollins even doing like double pedigrees on the Punk and AJ and stuff. I know they went to the outside the corner then. Punk I think he tried to go for like a curb stomp or something. They did that. They got to the outside. I guess they were gonna do like their finishers on top of both the announce tables and stuff. Um, but I feel like what was it on the announce table? I think Becky and Seth like damn, I'm trying to remember what it was though, because Becky tried to go like the manhandle slam on the table and the pedigree, but it was reversed. And then Becky ended up throwing AJ into the Punk while Punk was holding up Rollins for the GTS, which the table ended up collapsing on its own, so that did look pretty brutal. And then Becky threw AJ back into the ring then, and AJ ended up hitting a Black Widow for like the fourth time and ended up winning the match. So this was great. I think it still was a really great match. I like to say it was AJ's big return. Gotta say she was really bruised. If you look at her leg, it was pretty bruised out there. But I don't think this needed to be 30 minutes. And they really did give them a lot of time out there, and the crowd ate it up. So they definitely ate it up. But did I think it needed to go that long? Not really. I know, but like I said, I get it's AJ's return. I just don't think it needed to go almost 30 minutes. It was starting to just drag on a little bit. It was still a great match, though. So, like I said, I could see why it was one of the best matches out of the night. Right after, I felt like this segment was a waste of time. They sent Undertaker out there to basically tell Stephanie McMahon that she's going into the Hall of Fame. Because, like, he got off his bike, looked at Stephanie, and, sitting out there and jumping over the barricade. Which, let me say this, too. When have they ever announced anybody that early going into the Hall of Fame? Especially, it's not like, damn, it's not even around WrestleMania time yet, and we already talked about people going to Hall of Fame. Don't get me wrong, Stephanie was gonna go in anyways. Like, come on, Stephanie is WWE basically. She's a McMahon, all right. She's been in this company her whole life, so like, I'm not too surprised by that. But it's like, why are we doing this now? Why, like, what is the point of this? It's like, yeah, we can talk about Stephanie's entire WWE career, like everything she's done. It's kind of funny with Undertaker telling her that she's being inducted. Like, didn't you try to sacrifice her on Raw many, many years ago? At least we've seen her as a GM and part of factions and matches and a whole bunch of crazy stuff within in the WWE. So it's like, yeah, I get it. I know someone's gonna say it's a waste of time. She's not a wrestler and everything. Like, why are they just putting anybody in the Hall of Fame? I'm like, dude, they put Michelle McCool in the Hall of Fame, and that didn't even make no sense. But at least with Stephanie, I can say has done way more in this company and a lot of more stuff that's been memorable. But we did not need this segment. We didn't even need to say that Undertaker even say she was going to Hall of Fame. When it gets close to WrestleMania time, okay, do that. But the fact that they even needed to kill time, I guess, because listen, it's a lot of commercials and trying to stretch the show as long out as possible, okay? We know how they've been doing that nowadays. But I did not need to see this. Wait till around WrestleMania time. I ain't never seen nobody get a Hall of Fame induction this way early right now. Way early. So I did not understand that. And in the main event, we got Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. I don't really have a lot to say about this match. It wasn't bad. I'm actually surprised it was like, 16 minutes out there. It was a good match. Like I said, but here's the thing: I never believed Drew was ever gonna win. He was not ever gonna win the title. And here's the problem with this feud too. Okay, Cody has been gone off TV for several weeks now, obviously to go film Street Fighter, and I believe he had another kid. But it's like we only knew about this match 1 week going into this pay-per-view. And here's the crazy thing about this feud. Let me get this straight. So Cody Rhodes won the title from John Cena at SummerSlam, right? And then the following week, he got taken off TV, and we haven't seen him till like last week now and stuff. Let me ask this question. What was really the point of putting the belt back on Cody Rhodes if he was going to get written off TV the following week? Because that does not make any type of sense. It doesn't at all. Like, y'all could have just kept the belt on Cena and tried to figure out the whole heel turn and do something else with it, but they couldn't do that. At least Cena's been on TV. Cody, we haven't seen in over a month now. And now we just get a title match, like, kind of out of the blue, like 1 week away from the Wrestlepalooza show. It's like they had to get the WWE champion on this show one way or another. It's like the match wasn't bad, and I know Drew tried to do the whole thing by kicking Cody's head into the announce desk like he did several weeks ago, but Drew ended up running into it himself, and he hurt his own leg. He tried to do like a Claymore kick, but Cody ended up hitting a cutter, and then he did a crossroads and won the match. So, yeah, Cody Rhodes retained here. It's not much really to say about it other than Cody retained. Nobody really ever believed Cody was ever going to lose anyways, but I just think it's kind of funny that this match literally just kind of happened, and most of the feud with Drew has been going against Randy Orton currently right now, and talking about Cody for several weeks on SmackDown. But it just didn't make any sense because, like, why put the belt back on Cody Rhodes if he was going to be gone the following week? Like, that doesn't make any type of damn sense, okay? Like, it just doesn't. So I'm not ever going to really understand why they did that, but I felt like they could even kept continuing the Cena heel turn thing like I talked about it a few minutes ago, because I don't know, it just happened. That was it. Cody won, boom, there you go. But honestly, this whole pay-per-view show they had, I don't think this was really good. It wasn't. This was a giant infomercial for ESPN. That's all the show was about, was ESPN, okay? It's not like it was a lot of build going into this. They put as many big names as they could on here. So obviously for, to please ESPN officials, I'm sure they put the big names on so people will watch and probably spend 30 to 60 bucks on ESPN app and everything. That's probably what they wanted for this, but I don't think the show was all that, okay? It wasn't. The best things on this thing I probably like was either the tag match, which Punk and AJ versus Seth and Becky, and even Stephanie and Io was really great also. Everything else, though, like the WWE title match, honestly was kind of whatever. Like, it happened, but you knew Cody was never gonna lose here. The Usos and the Vision, I thought it was okay. I didn't think that was too bad. And the whole Cena Brock thing was just a glorified squash match, and I felt like it was just a waste of time. And it's like, what was really the point of all of this, okay? And I still believe that this show is just here to counter-program AEW, okay? That's all this really was. So I felt like, one, this show didn't even need to go that long. But then again, this is 5 matches nowadays with WWE. It's like, they got to stretch this thing to 3-4 hours. But it's like, why do you even need to go that long? If you got 5 matches, the show probably should have been like, 2 hours and 30 minutes maybe? It don't need to be going like 4 hours with only 5 matches, since they can't count past 5 nowadays. But this, to me, was just like, it was a waste of time, in a way. It's almost like, it's just many reasons with money-wise and other stuff I can keep talking about, but this show was just created out of the blue. It really was. So they can push the ESPN. This was just a giant infomercial for ESPN, okay? That's all this really was. But other than that, that's all I got to say about Wrestlepalooza. Comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, HoodTheNight890. I'm out of here. Hit that like button, notification bell. Peace out, and check out the AEW All Out review online right now. Other than that, see y'all then. Peace.